I know God? How can I feel a connection with God that's the most beautiful connection that I've ever had, beyond anything I could imagine? I'm asking, how can I have a loving relationship with someone that fulfills me on every level, and I am fulfilled on every level in ways beyond what I could think of? I'm living in the question. Live in the question. Live in the question. Simple solutions like this will transform your life, but because it's a simple solution, you have to be a spiritual giant to use it. Because the Course in Miracles, for instance, teaches that the ego is the idea of complexity. So therefore, if the answer is not complex, the separated mind has a tendency not to want to use an answer that's simple and easy to apply. Mm-hmm. So you give a separated mind, a complicated human being, a lot of simple solutions, and those will be the ones that will not be used. But if I said you had to go through 10,000 different lessons and trainings right now with 100 steps each, that you had to go through 6 months of school, people will do that. Because the separated mind believes in complexity. The spiritual mind knows, how could things be complex when it's all one? So you but ask for your separated state and you made it. So I'm gonna stop blaming everybody else. I'm here in the body as this black dude named Earl Purdy for one reason and one reason only. I asked for it. Yeah. I asked to be a man. I asked to be a black man. I asked to be in Denver. I asked to be in Colorado. I asked to have Joe and Georgia Purdy as my mother and father. I asked to have 4 sisters. I asked to have 2 brothers. I ask. My situation, my separated situation, my separated state is a result of asking. So I'm not a victim of my father, even though it appeared that he had an alcoholic call for love when I was growing up that made him sometimes abusive to my mother, so it seemed. Okay. I might have seemed like I was born in the time in history that there was a lot of segregation and racial oppression. I was born in it because I asked to be born in it. Yeah, you're playing. So what happens when you take full responsibility like that and say you ask to be in this separated state? Well, first of all, you forgive 90% of everybody in your life immediately. So my daddy didn't do it to me, white folk didn't do it to me, society didn't do it to me, my mama didn't do it to me, my brother didn't do it to me, my boss didn't do it to me. Why? Because I asked for my separated state, and it was made so. And I'm not going to blame myself either, because to blame myself would be the same as blaming you, because we're one. So I can't blame you either, and I can't blame me either. So who's to blame? Right. Who does the voice of blame belong to? Who does the voice of blame belong to? Something that doesn't exist. A made-up voice. The voice I made up to judge me, called the ego. Mm-hmm. It's the voice I made up. It's like, you have a voice to criticize you. I do. And I made this voice up. And I also told this voice all the things to say to affect me the most, because I know what would hurt me more than anybody. And I feed this voice constantly. And this voice tells me what I told it to tell me. This isn't going to go right. This isn't going to last. This isn't real. I'm not really loved. How can I make it? I got to get that job. Whatever it is I'm telling myself, I'm the one telling the voice to tell me. What do y'all think about that? Don't worry, Debbie. Don't worry, honey. You cute, so you got it all. You got it handled. Everything's gonna be all right. Just don't talk too much, and everything will go right for you in the world. That's all you have to do. If you're cute and be quiet, you'll be all right. Because in the world, we know if you look good, you are good. That's the rule of the world. If it looks good, it must be good. Because we judge by appearances. That's why it makes a lot of sense to look as good as you can. Sure. I think that's great. I think you need to study all the spiritual truth you can possibly do, and then go out and buy your cute outfit every day. Please jazz yourself up a little bit in your world, okay? Put a little zest in your, you know what I'm saying? It's like you want to have it easy, look good. In the world, it's all about how you look. So unconscious people are like you because you look good. Conscious people are like you because you're conscious. And you look good. I mean, we make it so much harder than it has to be. It's so funny. If you look good, people like you when you walk in the room. They'll go, oh man, he really like he got his stuff together. They haven't heard one word come out of your mouth. You could be brilliant and come in looking all unkempt and dry and dull, and nobody's going to pay attention if they're unconscious anyway. So I'm just saying, yeah, you don't want to be seen as a body, but you are seen as a body. So put on stuff that talks to you and feels good to you. When you go to the closet and you get something out, if you don't get a thrill from that thing you're getting ready to put on, you need to just get rid of it. You go to the store, ask the clothes. You know, which outfit wants to be on me? It's all about consciousness. It's all about consciousness. It's all consciousness. It's all alive. It's all alive. It's all alive because it's all one. This is the easy way. So it says, the condition or state of being from which you ask is, the condition or state of being from which you ask is what is in need of adjustment and thus of training before you can be aware of the answer you will receive. The condition or state of being from which you ask is what is in need of adjustment. The part of me that asks, that's the part that needs to be adjusted. The part of me that feels okay about asking, knows how to ask, that is the part of me that needs to be adjusted. The part of me that's sitting up here trying to figure out how to have the peace that I want, that part of me needs to be adjusted so that it will know how to ask so I can receive.
Wow.
Right now I'm about at a 72-hour window for things I really ask for that I really want. Usually if I ask now, within 72 hours, something happens along the lines of what I asked for, or it has become available to me. It's that asking, living in the question, live 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 in the question, and don't try to answer it, don't try to answer it, don't try to answer it, don't try to answer it. Please don't try to answer it. Which should give you peace because you don't know the answer. So that's really something that God would tell us would be, don't try to answer it, because that would give you peace. Oh, peace. What would happen if I had peace? Well, if I had peace, I would hear the voice for God. Because it comes from peace and being in peace. So what could be more peaceful than for me to ask the question and admit I don't know the answer and be okay with that? Pardon me, Earl. I'm the part of you that thinks you should suffer. So I'm going to make sure that I still tell you all the ways you don't deserve to be happy and unworthy right now, even though you just told me what I should do in order to have peace. I need to punish myself 6 more months for what I did 3 years ago. You know what it was. So I've sentenced myself to 5 years of not being happy because of something I think I've done. So I don't care how much truth you give me right now. I'm going to still feel depressed. I'm still going to make myself feel bad. And I'm not going to use any of this right now because I am a guilty little, no good little dog and I need to be punished right now. So I'm going to suffer a little while longer. And when I've suffered enough, I promise you, Earl, then I'll have an enlightened moment and I go, got it. And then I'll do what you're telling me to do. But only after I have finished my sentence. I shall not be pardoned.
Right.
Sorry, Governor. That's why you can tell people all night long what to get them out of something, but they won't do it if they still have sentenced themselves to a longer period of suffering than the peace you're trying to give them right now. Because I learned that if I suffered, good things come to those who suffer. The more I suffer, the better person I am. So I'm going to suffer. Does this ring true with anybody? How many of you all grew up on earth with me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to check in. Maybe y'all been grew up in another dream than the one that... but the things that this book is saying, I'm saying, it seems to me that they're fairly obvious examples of what happens in the environment that we're in. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. So right now it says, it is clear you can ask for what you know not. You can ask for something that you don't even know what you're asking for. This is not the problem. The problem is in who is doing the asking. The problem is the part of you that loves you asking, Or is it the part of you that doesn't think highly enough of you asking?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the part of you that's insecure and afraid asking? Or is it the part of you that believes you're the holy child of God and that you deserve peace and joy and love asking? So it says the separated self, which while capable of asking, is hardly capable of believing in or accepting the response. That is deep. So the separated self, it says, it's always asking. But the problem with the ego self is that it's not capable of accepting the response. So let's say you have a group of separated minds, they come together and they ask for answers. The problem is, as long as you're totally focused in your separated mind, you won't be able to believe what you just heard, that's the answer, and you won't be able to accept and respond to what you just heard as the answer. Which explained to me why I would hear so many answers over the years and not do anything.
Right. Wow.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Books have been telling me what to do and teachers have been telling me what to do all my life. Why didn't I do it? Because I was listening through the part of me that believes it's separate from God, separate from love, and separate from truth, and a body that's on its own. Deep.
No allowance.
Deep. So it is this non-belief in a response that makes it capable of asking. Now that you are beginning to shed the concept of the separate self, you're beginning to shed the concept of the separate self, you are beginning to believe in the possibility of response. We're beginning to believe, you know what, it just might be possible that I could maybe do this. I'm beginning to believe in the possibility of response. I could maybe actually ask and live in the question. I could maybe remember that if I was to make my goal to join my mind with my heart and then to unite with my Creator, I'd bypass all the separation thoughts of the world. Maybe